21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana.
So strap in and prepare for launch sequence. And remember, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
Hello and welcome and salutations in whatever your language may be. I am Spaceboy, and you are listening to Spaceboy Universe Live! It is June 18, 2016, and tonight's topic is Comicpalooza 2016. That's right, we'll talk about what happened today at Comicpalooza, and we'll probably take your calls if you're nice. As always, if you want to follow the show, you can do that on Twitter at the SB Universe, hashtag us at SB Universe, follow Surlana at Surlana, follow Spaceboy at Spaceboy Music. That's very simple. We're also on Facebook, that's Spaceboy Universe, Spaceboy Music. Ooh, yes, it's all great. And, of course, if you want to chat along with the other Space Cadets, you can do so in the Spreaker chat room. Just go to spaceboyuniverse.com, click at the top where the banner is for the player, and you'll see that little dancing icon. Click in there, and that'll get you in with all the cool kids. Well, we always recognize that you can't always be with us on a Saturday night. But, hey, that's no excuse because you can listen to us on demand. That's Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. Man, I love on demand. So, without any further ado, I want to introduce to you my lovely co-host, the lovely Surlana. How are you, Surlana?
Not so lovely.
Oh, I'm sorry. You feeling a little bit better since today?
Well, I've had enough ibuprofen, yeah.
I know.
Taking the edge off.
You don't look drenched like you did when we went out to the car and, to put on the spacesuit.
Well, that's just typical Texas summer,
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't go outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't go outside.
Well, I mean, I do know that... hold on, we could talk.
Yeah. Do you need to turn me up? Because I can't get any closer to the mic.
There, I turned you up a little
unless
bit.
I fuse with it on a molecular
level. Hey, everybody, if you're listening out there, if you think Surlana is not loud enough, let us know. I know she's had a hard day, and so she's ready to take a nap in her chair. And as soon as this show's over, it's out. Go to the lights.
It was great. It was worth it, but there's been very few moments in my life where I've just wanted to sit down in the middle of whatever I was doing and just cry.
Well,
just because I was in so much pain.
Before we get into that, let's go with our normal banter. We'll take a break, and then we'll get into our top things that we want to talk about. I mean, and if you're tuning in on our Twitter feed at the SB Universe, you'll find caboodles of pictures, and in the days to come...
Our Instagram.
Yeah, our Instagram.
Same ones.
Yeah. There'll be many pictures that you can take a look at there, and then, of course, Surlana is going to be working on some of the video that we took and incorporate that, and you can see that on YouTube with the days to come. And so just don't rush her. She doesn't like to be rushed. She likes to make sure it's perfect. So with that, I heard that the Guardians 2 just wrapped up today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be fun. I can't wait for that movie. The first one was an unexpected pleasure to watch. And
saw Star-Lord today.
Yes, we did.
He was boogieing up and down the aisle.
And I think Deadpool was right behind him making fun of him.
I think Deadpool was behind him because he had his own little music blasting. I think he was kind of 5 steps behind the Star-Lord making fun of him.
Okay, I don't know about you, but on the internet, have you seen this trend with Jeff Goldblum?
Yes.
Where they're, photoshopping his face into different things, and it really caught my attention because of the Space Cadets know about my Gene Hackman, Gene Wilder mix-up. Well, they put Jeff Goldblum in the face of Gene Wilder from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but he's also been put in different other memes across the internet.
It's not the first time that's been done.
Really? I mean, it seems like they're really hardcore right now. I guess because he's going to be in Independence Day 2 coming up.
I saw some of that on Graham Norton's show, and Jeff's, he's laid back. He thinks it's all hilarious. It didn't bother him.
I think he's pretty good about that.
They had one where on the Graham Norton show where somebody had photoshopped from the first Jurassic Park. Where, Jeff's
got a shirt.
He's got a shirt and he's reclined. Jeff's got his shirt open and reclined when he was still young and sexy. And they've got one of the dinosaur experts, Sam Neill?
Sam Neill, yeah.
Instead of him leaning over this dying dinosaur,
yeah.
He's like, they photoshopped Neil over like he's stroking his chest.
Yeah, I have seen that. That is pretty funny. But I guess this is a year for Jeff Goldblum resurgence, I guess. And he's all over. In fact, he's going to be in the new Thor movie, too, coming up. And so hopefully this is a good year for him. I know that I'm kind of curious to see how the movie Independence Day 2 goes down. It's been a while since, first Independence movie. I like the premise about this is it's like an alternate timeline compared to ours. It takes place in the timeline from the original movie, and so things develop differently. And yeah, so I like that take on it. So. And he's kind of like the Steve Jobs in that time thing, and creating devices and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that. Among many other movies, I'm looking forward to. So we can only hope that it turns out. Just as I'm thinking of movies coming out, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Donald Glover's going to be in it.
That was a huge internet campaign to get him to be Spider-Man.
But he's not going to be Spider-Man. They haven't really named his character or who he's going to be. I'm kind of curious, but I'm on the flip side, I'm kind of glad that he's getting the opportunity to be in the Spider-Man movie.
I think he can be a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great Spider-Man.
Not that I care.
Yeah.
I don't really watch Spider-Man. So.
But no, I think he's got some acting chops, and he's a great comedian. I mean, we loved him on Community, and so I don't see any reason. And
Troy and Abed in the morning.
And then we saw him in The Martian, and so
where he actually fell, and they just put it in the movie.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's that's movies to look forward to, and I guess as I segue from there. Right now, I know you're not into Netflix like I am because I'm trying to keep...
As soon as I find something to watch, I'll be into it.
I've had a lot of cabin fever lately, and I've been like, just to take my mind off of things, just to name a few things I've been watching. I got through the series called Cuckoo. It's kind of a British comedy, but it was made for Netflix. Originally, it had Andy Samberg in the first season, but... they killed his character off, and they brought in this other guy, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but it's actually a halfway decent sitcom. I hear they might be bringing a sitcom based upon that here to America, but I know your first reaction to that is, why? Because usually when they bring sitcoms from across the pond, it usually dies. Wouldn't you agree on that?
Because they try to Americanize it, and it loses something in translation. Mm-hmm. Although... not always the case. Like Sanford and Son, that was a British transport. Three's Company,
All in the Family.
Those were all transports from UK.
Well, we can only hope and see, because originally they tried to do it with the IT crowd, and it failed miserably. I mean, from what I saw of that, their pilot episode, it was really bad. So,
but the IT crowd, as it is on its own, is priceless.
Mm-hmm. Other shows I'm watching, I've been watching Anthony Bourdain. I've seen both his shows. I guess where he's I can't even remember. It's pretty much the same show. The only difference is they put a time clock. Are you looking for a nail file?
Yeah, I never did bring that fingernail file in here.
Anyway,
when you go off on things, they're so boring.
Anyway, it's great because I get to watch. I guess you could say food porn, and his shows, and it goes to different places, and
it's so boring.
It's quite delicious. Anyway, I told you I had cabin fever.
Well, the only way that could be more boring is if he brought zombies with him.
Anyway, and also I started tonight. It was nice to start watching this show again. Orange is the New Black. I'm
over it.
It's back on. See, you hooked me into this.
And then I just got over it. So
what do you mean? You hooked me into it? No, he hooked me into it.
No, he wrote me into it. Well, that guy over there, he wrote me into it.
But so I'm watching that. You know, it's there. It's something to binge watch. You know how I like to binge watch TV shows. And I've noticed a trend now that when I've started binge watching things,
I like that. It keeps you occupied.
It keeps me occupied. But when I binge watch,
do whatever I want.
Once I get to the end of it, I feel really bad because I explain. Let me explain. I get to the end of it, and it's like, I know there's no more to watch. No more to watch. I mean, that's it. That's, you know.
Oh,
like,
I thought you were going to say, like, what have I done with my life for these last 12 hours?
No. Like a show, you know, like it's a complete show, right? And then there's shows that, hey, I really get into, and they only have a couple seasons. But I'm just really too cheap to buy the episodes on Amazon to continue watching the season and wait. And here's a good example. Another one I'm getting back into is season 3 of S.H.I.E.L.D. I didn't watch it when it was on TV, so I've waited all this time, and they finally put season 3 out there, and I'm starting to watch that. And so it's kind of like when you binge watch, and it's in the middle of I guess a run. It really. I don't know. I guess when finally the next show gets come out on Netflix, I'm like, well, really? Why was I watching this in the first place? Or if it was a complete season and I finally watch the whole thing, I'm like, that's it. There's no more. I need some more.
I'm trying to relate to this with
Anyway.
binge reading.
Well, you know what makes polls. Hold on, let me get my thoughts together. You know what gets my goat? I'll tell you what gets my goat.
Oh, I was waiting for a sound effect.
Well, what gets my goat is the fact that I have been on the hunt for
and I'm after you.
High-C Ecto Cooler.
It's not out yet.
No, it is out there. Apparently, there's been some markets that it's out there, and people are drinking this, and it's like, what the flip? I mean, come on.
Are you about to start begging for High-C Ecto Cooler?
Look,
you're going to have to get a P.O. box.
The fact is, High-C Corporation, I love High-C. Send your donations to Spaceboy Universe. And, I've been waiting for a long time. Please. And I really deserve some High-C Ecto Cooler.
Do you drink it back in the day?
I did, religiously. I drank it as a kid, and I never understood why they took it off the market other than, maybe a copyright thing.
Ghostbusters wasn't relevant anymore.
Yeah. I mean, so I really... And what's sad is the Walmart that's by our house doesn't necessarily always carry everything.
I think that's because it started out as an original Walmart store.
And then you take it a step further. The H-E-B that we go to...
Name dropping everywhere.
I love H-E-B, and I'm not going to say anything about Walmart, but as far as the H-E-B we go to, it's starting to become one of those, I don't want to call it a snotty, but it isn't a
It's a high scale.
It's a high scale H-E-B because of the surrounding area is just growing like gangbusters, and there's like tons of people that have money.
This is the one we go online. We get our
order
our food online, and he just goes and picks it up on curbside.
I have a little time in the morning, so I go and pick it up. The next day while Surlana is slumbering away. So but anyway. So the thing is, what I'm trying to point out is, I wanted some High-C Ecto Cooler, and is that so much to ask? Can I at least have something like that?
I want $500 million. I think I deserve it, and I really don't think that's a lot to ask.
I did play the lottery. We'll have to check those numbers later.
Yeah.
Maybe we got lucky. But you have a story about a YouTuber that we watch a lot.
Well, I don't know if anybody listening would really, understand this, but I watch a lot of YouTube because it's entertainment for free, and there's so much there. And every now and he is the most subscribed YouTube channel. This is PewDiePie. I think his name is Felix Kjellberg, and he's Swedish, but he lives in England right now. And he has been with his girlfriend, and they've moved. He's moved, I think, from Sweden to Italy to somewhere else, and then back up to England. And he rented himself a separate studio apartment. It's like, I don't think he lives there. That's just for doing his daily job of being a YouTube person and playing games and doing all other kind of content creation on there.
An actual place to go to work.
Yeah. So he soundproofed his studio with the acoustic foam, the ceiling to the floor. But occasionally he says he has to shoot in a different room that isn't, they didn't soundproof, because he wants to do the virtual reality goggles, and he has to have more room. Well, he had got so many complaints from the neighbors surrounding him in this flat, apartment they have, that he got evicted. The most subscribed person on YouTube got evicted from their
in
workplace.
all fairness, he does get a little rowdy sometimes in his videos.
Yeah, so you can see that video where he just says, "We got evicted," or "I got evicted," and I watched that yesterday, and I'm like, wow. So he's looking for a new spot, but
and he's making. I mean, he's making some cheddar.
Money.
Yeah, cheddar off of these people clicking his videos. I mean, if he's like one of the top number one people on YouTube.
Yeah, he's the most subscribed. Over 45 million, I think.
Man, oh man, oh man. So we hope for him for the best. Of course, speaking of YouTube things, I don't know if you've ever checked out Epic Rap Battle videos. There's new season out. If you've never experienced the Epic Rap videos, you should go to YouTube and check that out.
You mean Epic Rap Battles of History?
Yeah.
Where they take two historical figures or fictional characters and make them do a rap battle against each other?
Exactly.
Such as Tesla versus Nick Edison.
Which is a good one.
Was a good one.
Steve Jobs versus Microsoft dude Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. My favorite, Ludwig von Beethoven versus Justin Bieber.
Another one was Einstein versus
that's
Stephen
my
Hawking.
favorite.
Yeah, it's
Einstein versus Stephen Hawking.
It's a good one.
That's great.
I'm trying to remember.
And then do you had the one where it was Jim Henson versus...
Oh, yes, that's a great one.
Versus...
Jim Henson versus...
Greetings, Space Cadets. This is Savannah. The feed from the satellite has been lost due to ionized particles in space. Please stand by as I patch through another satellite to regain the transmission. Acquiring secondary transmission in 3, 2, 1.
We had a little, I guess, glitch snafu here. It happens from time to time. However, we got everybody back. We're locked and loaded. And before we get into our Comicpalooza information, I just want to bring up, Surlana, you were telling me about another one of the, I call it the spore reports that we get.
Yeah, I was trying to find it before the show. I couldn't find a specific one. But, on, I want to say, is it April 30th?
Mm-hmm.
He had posted a dream about something he thinks would happen to Meatloaf. Maybe something medical, health related, or just some big story. He didn't know what. And sure enough, like a couple of days ago, something health related happened to Meatloaf. I don't remember the details. I remember reading the email, and I can't find the email again. I would encourage him to call in, but, 5 hours from now, I don't know where we'd be.
The thing is that Patrick Spore backs all his blog dreams up at the Dream Cognition Experiment, and you should definitely...
That's his blog.
That's his blog, and you should look at it. It is quite interesting. The longer that we get to know Patrick, it is kind of spooky. Some of the
spookier it gets.
The spookier it gets, exactly. And at first it may seem a little overwhelming as far as the material that he offers, but as you start digesting it all, it is
I read
really quite
his
interesting.
emails. I make time to read his emails because I'm scared to death. He's gonna just randomly call us like, "Did you read them?" Like, yes, I read it. And I don't want to get taken to task.
That's funny you bring that up because I co-hosted with Mark Schwartz on True Funders this past Wednesday, and he called in, and I told Mark, I said, Mark. The one thing you need to be careful with Patrick is that if you don't read his emails, he's going to call you out on it. And so,
and he'll move on, but he will sound like he's disappointed in you as a human being.
And you'll feel really bad about it.
You'll feel like crap for a while.
But yeah, get on over to the Dream Cognition Experiment and tell him Spaceboy Universe sent you there, and check out Patrick Spore's report on his dreams, and it's quite interesting. Like I said, it may be a little bit overwhelming at first, but as you digest it bit by bit, it's like I'm always saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so if you
don't eat elephants, by the way.
I'm not condoning
We're
eating
not
elephants.
endorsing that.
I'm just saying that it is a wealth of information, but as you start to digest it, it's all good.
Someone is mentioning in chat that Bob's birthday is Tuesday.
Well, Bob, it's not Tuesday. It's Saturday today. Should we wish him a happy birthday?
Where will we be on Tuesday? Who knows?
Quite frankly, Bob, since you're a friend of Spaceboy on Facebook, you're going to get a happy birthday on that.
Blasted.
Yeah, so, you'll be blasted. I'll tell Surlana. So don't worry. We got you covered on the back end. And besides, we love you, brother, right?
Yeah.
See?
Sorry, I was looking at Twitter.
Now, K28, on the other hand, we're going to have
some words with you, young man.
Yes, posting that
RoboCat
Twitter.
We might go see some robots next weekend. That will take care of that one.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and get into
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, and we'll bring that up. So. Today, we went to Comicpalooza, and
which is in downtown Houston.
Yes, at the George R. Brown Center.
And my first impression is the George R. Brown Center itself is a convention center, and I've only been there in one little portion, before. Apparently, the George R. Brown Center is a TARDIS. This thing goes on and on and on.
And what she means by that is bigger on the inside.
How many city blocks does it go from one direction to another? And then you get up there to the third level, and there's these rooms with rooms with rooms, and it goes back and towards infinity.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the second floor. We went from first to third, because that's kind of like the third floor had the events where you could go to the panels and all that. First
Q&As.
floor was more of you had. Give me a hand here. You had vendors. You had you had food court. You had
photographs and autographs.
Yeah, so that was like the first floor, and of course, it is a lot of walking. My legs, I will admit, my hips are sore.
I wanted. By the time we left about 4:30, I wanted to cry. I was hurting so bad.
I get asked often about that spacesuit, and the spacesuit is a little bit heavy. Especially when I'm wearing that helmet.
But if you didn't have that thing on day, we would have been ignored.
Point taken. I mean, there's something. Let's take this back to Contact in the Desert. When we went to there, and I got on the spacesuit and walked through all the vendors and everything, you saw what a ruckus it caused. It was like, oh look, can I get a picture with you? Can I have a picture? And what was cool is that basically I was about the only spaceman there. I mean, I think I saw one woman who had like kind of a
steampunky.
She had like a space shuttle on her back, and her it was like a smock that looked like one of the flight jackets of the astronauts.
It was some kind of strange mashup of something.
It was quite interesting.
You were the only person dressed in a astronaut's outfit that looked somewhat authentic, and that is why some people from NASA stopped and gave us some Orion mission pins.
That was exciting because I felt like it was a homecoming. But because NASA was there, and they had their I guess they're promoting their robot worker in space. And then, of course, you had a little setup where you could put your face inside the suit that they use, and that was kind of cool. And then there was another guy demonstrating the robotics that you can actually put your legs into.
I got video of that.
Yeah. So and let me go further. Surlana will be working on getting some video out.
It's just going to take a while.
It takes a while. There's a lot of footage there.
I have some ideas I want to discuss with you.
Okay, we'll have a meeting about
that. So,
cool. But your first impressions?
Well, the variety of events just on today was amazing. What amazed me is how many events they had for writers, people who are already published that you could talk to and learn from, and people who want to write or trying to break into the business, to teach them how to self-publish, how to market themselves, how to write in certain genres, write with humor, sci-fi, paranormal. If we had just been there as regular convention goers, I'd have been all over that place, going, oh, go here, go here. And the only issue I have is there's so many things going on at the same time, like we want to go to this thing at 10, but we also want to go to three other things, but they also happen at 10. I'm like, no.
There was a lot of things to go to, and, it was only two of us. So one thing I have learned from this is there's a good chance we're going to be bringing on an intern fairly soon to help us out.
Unpaid 17-year-old intern, maybe?
Red shirt, the expendable. To help us maneuver through all this.
We'll give you some college or high school credit course. The other thing that struck me was how good the staff was. And when we got to the press lounge, how welcoming and, really open to learn more about us.
Do you remember the lady in the
lady up there, her first name was Rosario, but I can't remember her last name.
And that's not the media director.
Not the media director. This is a different Rosario.
This is a different Rosario that was up there. And, the press room was rather nice.
Really nice.
Nice snacks.
Free swag, free drinks and swag and sodas.
It was a great place. In fact, if you look through the pictures, you'll see me sitting in a chair, and I'm saying I'm like the most interesting man alive. Stay hydrated, my friends. And, it was nice to actually be able to go there and to kind of decompress for a little bit, And
the other thing that impressed me was they had 5G wireless.
Oh, that was kind of cool. Another first impression was that we did get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, maybe a little bit before. Or
probably.
Yeah, it was a little bit before
right
7.
Maybe.
Because there was supposed to be a mini press junket, but
got canceled.
It got canceled, and it was like, great. We were counting down the time for
so we had 3 hours to kill.
Yeah, we had 3 hours to kill before anything could be open for us to go in. Even the press lounge was closed until pretty much
10.
Until 10. Yes. So that was a big disappointment because we were kind of looking forward to that and being able to mingle with some of the celebrities, but we didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah, we weren't allowed anywhere near celebrities.
That was kind of the down point.
Yeah, I didn't know what the point of having.
The next thing I guess would be on my list would be also that we finally did get a notice about some people that would be able to be interviewed, but the people were, when you go down there,
you don't know where they were. Couldn't find them anywhere.
Couldn't find them. We looked for them.
We found them on the app. They had an app.
And then part of the email was that you had to, if there was a crowd in that, that particular artist, you couldn't really approach them because they were busy doing their thing, and we can understand that. Got to sign pictures, got to sign autographs, all that stuff, and it was just, that part was kind of chaotic, and so, it is what it is on that. But that is not representative of the whole experience that we had at the event. It was quite enjoyable with the things. We got to see our friends from Misfit Toys.
Yes, we finally found Misfit Toys after going on a treasure hunt. I felt like we were detectives. We had to solve the riddle of how to get to them, and it wasn't their fault. They had gotten moved around, and their space had been given away, and they said they were over here. No, they said they were over here, and didn't know that they had to make them a little space on the end, but I think that benefited them. They stuck out further on the end than anyone else.
They weren't hidden.
They weren't hidden,
yeah,
so
that was a good thing.
Got your attention.
So going from that, so our first impressions, it was pretty well done. I mean,
and there was a lot of construction going on in the center.
Oh yeah, well,
and right out front. But it means that there's going to be another hotel attached by Skybridge.
Mm-hmm. Now that makes that once the new hotel goes in, that makes 2 hotels connected to the George R. Brown Center. They can easily, pack in tons of people for an event, and they don't. All they have to do is walk a Skybridge to get to the event, which I think is wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful what they've done with Discovery Green, and that place looks great. And I guess this is just an extension of getting that whole area around there up to date. They're putting in some fancy tile road walk in front of the George R. Brown. The improvements they're making are going to make that place even more fabulous.
Right now, it's kind of a messy, messy nightmare.
It is, but the fact is, we kind of benefit from it because the one entrance to the Discovery Greens parking lot is kind of like, unless you know it's there, you're not going to...
Discovery Green is just a nice swath of green, and there's a stage out there and places to sit. It's like if you go to sit and...
That's where the community can go.
Yeah, put your picnic blanket down on the ground, but off to one side there's this little opening, and there's parking way down underneath it.
Yeah, there's parking
which is
underneath
strange.
the Discovery Green.
Park underneath the park.
Well, I mean, it's useful, both in the sense of if people want to go to Discovery Green, they can just park underneath it, and bam, they're right there. So, I mean, and then, like I said, probably next year, 2017, that place is going to be rocking. It's going to be nicely done. All the construction.
If the construction was gone, we could have walked right out of the parking hole and straight across the street into it, but they had it directed. You have to go one way or another. So
yeah. So I mean, the construction, for the most part, even though it was pretty messed up, it still wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's still
But the thing is that you know me well, Surlana, is that I like to recon a place first and check it out, see where the best parking spot is.
You were able to do that because you had to go Thursday.
I had to go pick up the passes. So that's it for first impressions. So now we're, I guess, most scene costumes.
Yeah, most scene characters. I like to take mental inventory. I'm like, how many of this character we've seen? So I think the 2 winners have got to be Harley Quinn and Deadpool.
Most definitely. Just everywhere you went, just like out of the new movie Suicide Squad, if you've seen the trailer for that,
even classic Harley Quinn, all the iterations.
That's true, but
all the iterations.
But I think I saw quite a few of the Harley Quinns that are coming out in the movie Suicide Squad. But there were a few of the typical where she's in her spandex outfit from the comic book type thing. Saw a couple of Jokers. But there was definitely a few Deadpools there, and so yeah.
Like I said, that one had its own little stereo blaring, making fun of the other guy was hilarious.
Yes, Star-Lord, and he was like right behind him, like mimicking his dancing and stuff.
I was like, oh, I love it when people commit like that. It's awesome.
So yeah, it was good. Of course, there was a whole slew of others that we saw that did pretty good costumes. And do you think? Can you think of some of your favorites?
I saw a ton of them, but I didn't know what they were. Did you see the guy? It was closer to the end of the day before we left, where he was walking towards us, and he had a giant fake popsicle.
Yes, I did see that.
What was that? I'd love to know.
He was with some lady, and I can't remember what she was. I recognize, that by that time I was like, I'm really zoned out.
We were about gone. But the highlight of the day for far as people dressed up in cosplay or characters, and I had spotted this gentleman at Space City Con from a distance. But we saw these people stopped at a booth, and he's wearing a lab coat, and a really, really drab button shirt and a tie. and he looks like a natural redhead with a red beard, mustache. And I went, oh my God, it's Algernon Krieger. And started looking at the woman. I started looking at the woman next to him and went, oh my God, it's Cheryl Carroll, because she could never pick her name. And she was holding a little ocelot, a little leopard. And none of this makes sense probably to anyone listening, but if you watch Archer at the FX network, you know who we're talking about.
Well, he wasn't the only one that dressed up like him.
We saw another one later outside of the exhibitor hall. He was dressed the exact same way with the same colored drab tie, but he had his hologram
girlfriend,
wife, his Japanese manga hologram wife, but she was dressed up, with the big bright pink wig and the little corset wedding dress and veil that he has her dressed up in. Yeah, Krieger married a hologram that he created on that show.
That was classy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the other people that we came across, there was this really one cool steampunk German-looking thing with a mask on.
Was that from the first Hellboy?
It looked like him, but I don't think that
the Colonel?
I don't think it was.
Could it be original character?
It could have been an original character, and like I said, if you go to the Twitter account for Spaceboy Universe, that's at the SB Universe. You can scroll through the pictures as we're kind of discussing some of these characters. It was really well done, and
yes,
and I thanked him for the picture and everything, and of course he was silent. He didn't break character or anything.
That's what I was pleasantly surprised to learn. This is the first time we've gone out and stopped people. If they're dressed up, most of them, if they're just regular people who come to the con, they're happy to stop, take pictures. A lot of them wanted your picture too. It was great, and some of them you could talk to, and that's the part I found pleasantly surprising.
Another one that I enjoyed taking was the one with Mario and Luigi.
Yeah,
and that was fun. And of course, you even before we started the broadcast today, you were kind of teasing me about the fact of the Star Trek girl that came up to me, and
yeah, she was cute,
and I'm not going to deny
it. She was cute, and I was like, I'm going through the photos so I can kind of resize them down because they're in HD, so I could size them down a little bit to get them onto Twitter and social media. And I finally noticed where your hand was.
Well, I mean, it's not like I had it any further down.
I know, but I was like, wait a minute. And I was standing right there taking a picture. How did I not see this?
And so anyway, we pass on that picture. And anyway, she was a good sport and adorable, and got a picture with Duffman. Yeah, Duffman.
If I was that young, cute, and had that body, I'd do the same thing.
I got the picture with the Xenomorph from Aliens. That was pretty cool.
That guy got mobbed.
Yeah, he did. I got roped into the Texas Robotics invitation.
We'll talk about that.
But before we do that, let's see what was else that we were.
Well, we talked to someone before them.
I got a picture with a Cylon. That was cool.
Yeah, I put that on Instagram, and I went, Cylon brings the bling.
I mean, it even had the sound effect.
He stopped, but he wasn't going to be friendly or anything.
No, he pretty much kept his character. But to each their own. I mean, it's a chance to live apart.
There was a little section toward the back end, facing the back end, where they were playing some, song, like the Spider-Man theme, and they were playing, the Imperial March, and there was a Spider-Man over there getting down, and there was a Vader came over and started pacing around to the music, and
another character, kind of a non-specific character, was from the television show V, the original show.
Yes.
So that was cool, getting his picture. He was really cool because he wanted a picture with me as well. So, and I guess that wasn't so bad. And
yeah, but you think everyone should want a picture with you, whether you're in a suit or not.
Well, that's a different story because, it is my universe, and why wouldn't anybody want a picture with me?
Well, before we saw the robotics thing, we ran into this guy named Jason Rashin. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. But he's here in Houston, and he is a Houston film producer who likes to give seminars and tell people what it takes to make it in the independent film industry, especially here in Houston. So I started following him on Twitter, and I'm thinking he might be great to get on the show, and we could talk about what the Houston independent film industry is like here. Would that be? I think that'd be really interesting.
Well, we made a few contacts with people there, and surprisingly, it was, it's kind of like you've got this plan to go to a destination, right? You're going from A to B, right? But somehow along the way, something happens, and you don't go to B. You go to some other tangent altogether, and that happened a few times today. Whereas, like we met this gentleman and had a product that they were pitching at the Comic-Con, and I found it very interesting, and I'm hoping that they follow up with us, and that might be somebody that we can do business with as the Spaceboy universe, and so that was cool. And then of course we talked to Jason, who was really nice and very dapper.
Very dapper, very cool.
Very cool, bow tie wearing, hair just properly trimmed. I mean, he had it. Okay, I'll just say it. He had it all going on. I mean, he looked sharp, and it was well presentation. I'm trying to remember. We need to find out the guy he was next to, because I don't think we ever found out or followed up on that.
I have to go back tomorrow. Then.
Yeah, definitely, and because he made a video game off his own Atari 2600 game. Off his work. Yeah. So that is worth following up with. I mean, this was a great opportunity to find people that we planned for one thing, Plan A, but we got Plan C. And
they just had everything. It wasn't just people selling toys and comic books. This was like it was like a Ren Fair meets a sci-fi convention with comics and celebrities. It was just everything. It's kind of like almost everything we cover on the show, our topics.
And I have to admit, costume-wise, there were a lot of good costumes. I think there was only one that I saw that I could have done without the Franks and Beans again, and and I can't.
Oh, you're gonna love this one piece of footage I got. Then
I
haven't told you about that one.
No,
Yeah.
Is it the guy that was in blue?
I'll give you a hint. Cod piece.
Okay. So, but there's one in all of them, I guess. I mean, I guess it's only fair if a woman's gonna be a little flashy, then what's the point? Then a man isn't going to be a little flashy in other spots, I guess. So, and I guess Surlana is trying to get me to move on from that subject matter. So, we walked on. We saw the.
So we walked on from the Jason's booth.
Yeah.
And we were walking by this. I'm not really sure what it was.
It's like robot fights.
There was a bunch of robots in there.
Think of Robot Wars on television. I'm
yeah,
sure.
And they had one outside of the clear kind of plastic or acrylic cage that you're in, and it was kind of like rolling toward this little kid, and the little kid was like freaking out. And so we walked by, and the people said, "Hey, come over here. Can we get a picture?"
What happened is we were looking off in the distance because we saw the NASA stuff, and we were like, "That we're heading in that direction." And we just kind of paused and kind of looked around, and then one of the I guess the supporters for the robot thing that was going on. Help me out, Surlana. The name? Do you recall?
Yes, Texas Robotics Invitational.
There we go. So she called me over there and she said, "Hey, would you mind posing, a picture?" And I thought, "Sure." And then next thing I know, I'm in the middle of this the robot fighting arena, and like
they put him in there.
I'm like, I hope none of these have like a chainsaw or a buzz thing, and it was, but they were cool, and. What's great about it is, you have these high school kids that are learning engineering and science, and I'm all for that. And because in this day and age, let's face it, I guess I get a little, cynical, especially when it comes to pop culture. And the three women I love so well in pop culture that I think they're rotting our brains as a culture. But anyway, it's
do they all start with the letter K?
Could be.
Okay.
The thing is that you get these kids that they're building things, and it's wonderful. They're using their minds to create, and so it gives me hope that not all our kids' future are going to be rotted out by the boob tube. They're actually going to learn science and mathematics and challenging each other, and but at the same team building, and so that whole thing, I was all for it, and I guess they invited us to come take a look at.
You ended up. They graciously allowed somebody to.
Oh yeah.
To interview him, and we got that on video, and I just got to edit that. I got to pull it out of this giant long thing of because I would hit record and just walk
and film,
walk and film. So they invited us next Saturday to come see, I guess, a tournament. Mm-hmm. And so maybe we'll cover that and see if we can get permission to, cover it live or well, maybe not live, but
get some footage. And stuff and talk some more.
It'll be live for us. For you won't know anything. I
mean, because let's face it, Spaceboy loves robots. And so we had a good time with them, and they were very nice. And I talked to Alan, and he was one of the representatives there, and Sue was very nice too. And we're really looking forward to talking some more with them. So we have a thing where we have another place to go and cover and make more videos, which is
great.
Make
contacts. We put we exchange business cards with quite a few people.
So from there, we left feeling good. We did our thing there, and then we're off to the NASA area.
Yes, there's a little NASA pavilion.
But before you go there...
Break time?
Yeah, let's take our top of the hour break, Surlana. I know it feels like we've barely been talking, which we've barely been talking, but that's how it goes. This is the top of the hour, and you're listening to SpaceboyUniverse.com. Got to keep to that broadcast clock. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Space Cadets. It's me, Spaceboy of Spaceboy Universe Live. I'm here to ask you to consider donating to cover our costs for broadcasting our live show. We love our show. We believe in the product, but we need your support. So visit SpaceboyUniverse.com and click the Donate Now button. This will take you to the SBU PayPal account, and you can choose the payment type of your choice. Every little bit helps. Surlana and I appreciate your support. And as always, listen to Spaceboy Universe live on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, only on SpaceboyUniverse.com.
Hello Space Cadets. It is announcer Savannah. I want to tell you that as a dedicated member of the SBU team, you always want to look your best. Do it in a Spaceboy Universe t-shirt. Get yours at spaceboyuniverse.com by clicking the banner on the website. Remember that, it's Spaceboy's Universe, and you're in it.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt. It's Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Spaceboy, and I want to take this time to invite you to join Spaceboy and Surlana in our on-demand show called Data Bites, bite-sized pieces of the universe. You can catch it on demand on Spreaker.com. Just search for Spaceboy Universe. And remember, it's Spaceboy's universe, and you're in it. Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
SpaceboyUniverse.com. Techno, dance, atmospheric moods? Yes, my friends. My latest release, Digital, has something for everyone. Even makes a great gift for Grandma. Buy your digital download at SpaceboyMusic.com.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
Greetings everyone. You can catch Spaceboy Universe on every Saturday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. However, we know that you might not be able to catch the live show. That is why we have many places to listen to it on demand, like iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube and Spreaker. So take the universe with you wherever you go. Always remember that, it's Spaceboy's universe, and you're in it.
To call in, dial area code 713-7015-214. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right. It is Spaceboy, and it is my universe. And thanks for tuning in. And Surlana,
yeah,
we were talking before we went to break.
Yeah.
I guess we were about to talk about the NASA thing, was it?
Yeah, well, we left the robot arena to go toward the NASA. What was that? You think that was a replica? What was that thing?
I guess it was a replica of the... You talking about the...
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be the cockpit module of... I guess it goes on top of the rocket. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. The part that they sit in?
Yes, the part that they sit in.
So we were going to stand by that. Well, right across from this little NASA pavilion. So he walks over. You know, they've got the spacesuit where you go up the little steps, you stick your head in, and it looks like you're in the spacesuit. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, here you are in a spacesuit, and they all just stopped, and they said, oh, we got to give him an Orion pin. And so he just flat out says, here's my flyer, here's my business card, NASA. Boom, dropped a mic, you know. So
yeah, so basically I started a dialogue with the lady that was there, and I said, you know, look, as a kid, I've always loved space, and as you could tell, you know, I love the astronauts, I love everything, you know, NASA related, and we would love to do some kind of work with y'all, you know, an interview or something that we could put together. And so hopefully we've made a good contact today. Promoting space is what it's all about. I said, as you look at our flyer, you look at me, and it's space related. I'm Spaceboy of Spaceboy Universe Live, and I would really love to work with somebody with your media department to put something together on video or even audio, so that you know, to get to our audience to listen to.
Earlier, before that, I think we had attended a panel of this astronaut was talking about spacesuits then and now. That was really interesting, and we were kind of like 5 to 10 minutes late for that, and she was talking and talking away, and she's like, "Oh, there's a spacesuit now." As you walk in,
did she say that?
Yeah, she saw you.
Okay. Yeah, it's and unfortunately with these panels, we couldn't really stay to the very end on some of them.
Because everything overlapped.
Right. Which brings up a good one is the first panel of the morning. We were supposed to see an aliens panel. And
well, it was a retrospective of fandom of the aliens panel, and a person who's presenting it, I don't know if they ever showed up, and everybody just got up and left.
Yeah, it was like, okay, alrighty. So, but yeah. So the lady, that was fun walking in, and everybody kind of turning around, and here I walk in with my spacesuit, and I've got my helmet on the side, under my arm, and. So it was like, okay, hello everybody, and so that was fun.
I speculated that, or you did late in the day, we'd have to bring it with us, and then just stand against the wall and wait for people to come to you. If we had brought the chimp mask, like the current Twitter header for the SB Universe is him in his chimp mask with the astronaut suit. All we had to do was just stand there and wait for them to come to us, because that would have been so perfect. But he can't move and breathe in that for 5 minutes.
It's not a practical thing to walk around in, because there's, it's one thing to put that helmet on.
Yeah, you can lift the visor up.
Yeah,
easily.
I can lift the visor up. At some point, I'm going to break down and create some kind of ventilation in that thing. But
you also need a cooling shirt.
Oh yeah, exactly, like the astronauts wear. So to keep me cool on the inside. The thing is that once I was inside, I was fairly cool in the sense that I wasn't burning up like I was in the garage. I mean, you were like about to melt.
Oh my gosh!
And,
well, that's because you're immediately back in the humidity and underground.
That's the thing here in Houston. The heat won't kill you, but the humidity will.
No, everything will kill you pretty much.
What I'm trying to point out is that, you walk outside. It's not like a desert heat where you walk out and you don't know that you've got 4-degree or 3rd-degree burns.
No, I was aware the desert was hot, and I didn't like it either.
But anyway, is there anything else you want to shoot me down as I'm talking about humidity versus non-humidity?
Not going back to the desert.
Okay. Well, I'm not asking you to go back to the desert, dear. So, anyway, needless to say, Surlana was in a puddle. I was like, oh my God. So
that's okay. It didn't matter what I looked like.
I felt like I was, in a burlap sack.
Well, it's canvas, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, as soon as we got back in, I think, what did we do? We went from there, we went back up to the press room, and we sat down for a minute.
We went there 3 times.
Yeah. But that was, it was perfect. Each time, we went in there, we were able to kind of wind down and relax. And the lady Rosario, what a nice lady.
Yes.
Just peaches, and the fact that she was like, put your helmet down, relax a little bit, take a little time before you have to go back out there. I mean, I think that if I walk away from any of the people that were there at that Comicpalooza, it's going to be her. She was a class act, and I don't know. I guess at some point I'll explain it to somebody that she was just really nice and supportive and a great asset to their team. So let's see here.
Of course, you also enjoyed being able to sail past lines and getting in this. There's this one interester saying, "No, y'all can't come here. You can't." Like, oh, press, come on in.
Yeah, come on in. Come on down. Yeah, so that was kind of cool, and to show the, because there was another panel that they had a line for, which was the Robert Duncan McNeil. Originally from Stargate, not
Stargate. Oh my gosh!
Hold on.
Bad nerd.
Getting my, because I'm thinking of, why I'm thinking of Stargate, because there was a few people dressed in Stargate patches, and I was remembering them. So no, from Star Trek Voyager. Yeah, Star Trek. No, seriously, there was, and so how I get a little topsy turvy on some of my things.
Yeah, we got to go to his Q&A and just sit there, and he mentioned there was a couple of this older folk got 2 people in there who were looked like DS9 formals or something.
It was
they were really well made. Look at custom.
The black bottoms with the gray tops, and then under the shirt would be the designation, and on the collars of their the cuffs of their jackets.
And he says,
would be the insignia.
Your outfits are better than the ones we had on the show.
But he basically said he got tired of acting because it was just the going through the process of trying to get a part. And I can imagine it's pretty nerve-wracking, and but he seems like it's funny is he kind of looks like Adam from MythBusters
now, yeah,
and but he looks good. I mean, he doesn't look like a young skinny guy. I mean, and I'm not saying he's big and fat or anything like that.
We all get old, except for you.
Well, Dorian Gray kind of thing going on with me.
You got to deal with the devil.
Yeah, but it was interesting. We had to leave a few minutes before his thing ended up, and we went to.
We tried to go to the Dalek races. We got there in plenty of time. There was one Dalek, and there was a K9.
K9 from Doctor Who,
and the K9 was remote controlled. It had a really sophisticated little TV monitor on the side of it, and the other Dalek moved around and it was talking. But I'm like, when are they going to race? We're going to race, and it was like 4. We'd been there since 7. And we're like, we'll give them 10 minutes to do something. If they don't do something, we're gone. And they never did anything. So
we called it a day and figured, well, we could go back tomorrow and cover a few things and maybe talk to some vendors or whatever. Now, unfortunately, we didn't really get to talk to any stars per se.
I didn't know who we were allowed to approach. I know we couldn't go anywhere near the celebrities that you had to pay.
Well, we did go over there and looked at a few people, and I mean the people that they had there. I would have to say the most popular person was Norman from Walking Dead.
And the other one was from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, on the other side, Sons of Anarchy, And there were a few others that had a modest, a few people here and there. We saw Lou Ferrigno off in the distance. We saw Tara Reid, and
a portion of her.
Well, the portion I saw, she seems like, when you look. Well, I imagine when you look at me,
be nice.
No, well, when you look at me, you always say Dorian Gray and ageless, and I think what it is every time I've seen Tara Reid, it's always been in like an Enquirer type magazine and showing how. Like she's
the worst
of her, and she was well put together, and that's what I was going to say. She looked good compared to what the trash pulp puts out there, and we saw some of the Aliens cast that were on the other side, and so we saw.
Got a glance of Michael Rooker. He was Yondu in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Also in Walking Dead.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, he played. Norman's brother, and he ends up getting killed. And so anybody that watches The Walking Dead probably knows that already. And so there were a lot of stars, and I guess we should leave it at that as far as what we saw and what we were not able to do. It is what it is, and unfortunately, we weren't able to make some of the contacts we would like to have done.
There's a little confusion and lack of communication, but I think we made up for it in other ways.
Yes, and thank God for Spaceboy Universe's spacesuit, and it opened a few other doors that.
It's not going to open many doors if we don't figure out how to wash it. It's going to start walking off on its own.
Look, it doesn't look. I don't know why you think it looks ugly looking. I mean, I know it needs to be clean.
I'm talking about it's going to have a funk soon.
Well, I don't know about you. I don't smell funky after wearing it, surprisingly. But I agree with you. It needs to be dry cleaned. So
I don't know if a dry cleaner would touch it.
Let's move on to something else. Anything else you want to touch or add to this conversation?
Well, I'm...
While I remind the audience real quick, 713-701-5214.
I know I'm not anywhere near top peak physical condition or a physical condition worth mentioning. But I am destroyed. Like if I wanted to go next year, I would have to start. I have to get me a trainer and start till I'm like skinny as a twig, and then I won't hurt so bad.
I think what's going to come in handy is I'm serious. We're probably going to need to get an unpaid intern and help us out.
We need an unpaid intern, and then you need to get another person to do my role, and then I can just be at home tweeting things.
No, it don't work that way. We'll probably need somebody that's camera savvy.
Remote executive producing.
No, you will not be remote executive producing nothing. You'll be there along with me. You won't be dragging all the equipment. That's part of the problem, is that between the both of us, dragging that equipment along. But at least we got lucky, and we were able to store a majority of our stuff in the press media room. And while we took just the camera, the microphone, and of course me in the spacesuit.
I was impressed how well that worked. The little rig you had for the Handycam with a mic.
So this is where we're going to product placement. So we have a Sony camera that's 4K. It records into 4K, but however you can downsize the recording.
Yeah, we knocked it down to get the most
HD, which is the middle range of the camera, and there's a lower HD setting, but the secondary HD is still good quality. It takes great quality pictures. And do you remember the model of our? It's an X. What is an X50?
It's a Sony Handycam FDR 53X something supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
So the camera is probably, it's kind of like it's on that middle ground where it's the best that a consumer can buy before buying a professional.
Some actually stopped and asked us about our setup. Didn't really care about you in the suit or anything.
Yeah.
Just but you had it rigged where you had something screwed into the bottom that was just for the mic to handle.
Basically, the mic is an XLR. So excuse me if I get into the technical aspect of this. So we have an XLR plug-in, and of course the microphone jack is I guess the standard stereo jack input on the camera. However, you got this device I purchased is a thing where you can plug an XLR into, and it has an output that's the regular stereo jack, and then from that stereo jack out can be plugged into the input. And so it works pretty well because not only do you have the one jack, you have two jacks you can plug into. So if it ever comes down to where you need two microphones, you can have two microphones with that setup.
You had the microphone on, it hooked into that. It was turned on when I had the video on, and I put my headphones in to the headphone jack so I could hear what you're saying and whatever the other person being interviewed is saying. So see if the sound's coming in. It's almost like a professional setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it does make it a little heavy, but we had this little soft grip that gets screwed in under that component you added.
Yeah, because the way the camera is, it's got a thing on the side where you can palm it.
Yeah, it's got that little strap, that usual strap all these Handycams have. Yeah.
But this device plugs in, because on most cameras, professional cameras and video cameras, they got a spot where you can plug in the thing that attaches to a tripod. Well, there's a device I purchased that came in with a little kit that it was really meant for using for an iPhone, and you could hold it on with this grip, but it's still the same screw size to plug into a camera. And I believe it works better than holding it with the palm versus gripping it with
because your palm's going to get sweaty.
Oh yeah,
against the and it did with the grip too, but it didn't hurt anything. And in fact, I got a cramp in my right hand some point.
You were doing a lot of filming.
I did tons.
Yeah. So that's kind of our camera setup, and it's a nice setup, and we wanted something nice to start doing the videos for YouTube for, and our first one we did was for Misfit Toys, promoting their store down in the Heights.
We didn't have the mic rigged up; it was just for show.
No,
but now we've got it.
I broke down because after we did another thing, and the way the audio went down for it, which I didn't trust the way it was plugged in. It was too much weight on the actual camera. and I wanted to put that weight somewhere different where it wasn't on a camera and it would break it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It was too that the cord coming out the side of the camera was too heavy. It was going to cause it to short probably
and
in that.
Probably it would be made useless, and, so, and that would put us
this
in
way. It takes all the weight off of the camera parts and puts it just on these little stereo jacks.
Exactly. So yeah, that's our camera setup, and let's see what else am I.
I'm learning a lot about video production from the hardware to the software, and having a great time.
Yeah, see, that's another thing behind the scenes is that Surlana is really taking an aptitude toward video production now. And in past, when I've done videos, mostly my music videos, and a few commercials that I've done, I have taken the kind of the lead on that, but she's really gotten after
well,
the
it's
Premiere
Adobe
thing.
Premiere, and because I'm already very familiar with Adobe's other products like Photoshop, Illustrator, Dreamweaver, Adobe Pro, I know how things kind of work and how their interface workspace is arranged and what you can do with certain things, where to find certain things. So it was an easy transition.
Well, and then I think it's fair to say that I've helped you in the sense of do a little of this, do a little of that. You might want to bump this up, or you might want to cut that off there. You probably might want to transition here or there. And so
you've been really good with that, and then there's points I'm like, okay, you need to go somewhere now and sit down.
I think I'm trying hard to do that. I mean, I literally will get out of, there's a chair by your desk, and I will get up, move away, I'll go in the other room, or I'll sit there and watch or binge watch TV, which
my favorite is when you're sitting there for a while and you get up and you decide, okay, you're going to let me work. And the minute you walk away, the cat comes and gets right in that chair like she's been waiting for you to leave it for hours.
Oh, well, she knows that I'm going to sit on her if she doesn't move. But
yeah,
anyway.
Our cat's intimidated by you.
Well, all cats. And what else?
Even women dressed as cats run from you.
What else do we have here, Surlana, about the Comicpalooza or?
There's just like, if you had your own staff, and I could be there and just go to these things. They had so many of these really interesting panels on writing. Not that I write or anything, but for some reason it appeals to me as at least a reader too. And I thought maybe I could learn something to help other people that I know who are writers. But there was so much more there than the app said, or that the printed program guide said. Like these things would get added last minute and they would come up on the app. And I have to say though, that app for the phone that Comicpalooza had was invaluable, where you could go and you get the schedule, and if you see something you like, you just go add to schedule, and you made your own schedule that you could bring up. And it'd say, okay, I'm interested in this, where is it? It says show map, and it shows you where that event is on the map.
Yeah, overall it was a very good app. It definitely had all the things that you could go through and make your own schedule, and which was really cool because I thought that was very professional, and so. But I agree with you in the sense of the I'm really thinking about if we do this again next year, which I'm pretty sure we'll do it.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. I really think that we probably need 2 interns. And one for you, one for me.
Sad little unpaid interns.
Working together to, work on the video, taking the video. One working with you.
Trying to imagine what poor soul would be desperate enough to want to work with us.
But, it's a long way off into 2017, so, we'll just play one step at a time. In fact, why don't we just play the fact that we're going to watch robots fight each other next Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but all right, Surlana. What we're going to do is go for another break here, and when we come back, more SpaceboyUniverse.com. You know where it's at. Call us on the hotline 713-701-5214. We'll talk to you when we get back after this. SpaceboyUniverse.com. Call us at 713-701-5214. And I'm your host, Spaceboy, and across from me is...
a dried up potato that used to be your wife.
Oh, my goodness gracious. It's the lovely Surlana. So, Surlana, I guess you were checking tomorrow's schedule to see...
Yes, to see what... the first thing that catches my eye for tomorrow is Star Trek upcoming events and programs. It's a panel about how much is happening with Star Trek Universe during its 50th anniversary year, Star Trek Beyond, Star Trek Renegades, Star Trek XNR, and as yet unnamed new Star Trek television series. The Federation and Starfleet are exceptionally busy with new tales. So it's going to provide the latest information on these projects and answer the questions.
What time is that one?
10 a.m. We just have to do the same thing we did today and just go chill.
Get there. So doors open at 10, I believe, tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get there at 9. So that means we need to get up about 8:30.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if it's going to be as bad for parking. But another thing I'm seeing is, I don't know that we go to it, but I'm just impressed by is, again, more content for writers. Here's the difference between publishing short stories and novels. There's a panel. No right way to write. Techniques for new writers. Writing sci-fi comedy. Literary room. It's just beginning lightsaber class. Just really interesting things, from pen to pulse rifle. Writing good military science fiction.
That reminds me of the one of the first vendors we saw there. They had lightsabers, and she wanted me to pose, I guess, a little product placement, and that was actually a pretty cool looking lightsaber.
There was like this whole bank of them lit up somewhere that it was in a booth. Just a lot of virtual reality ghost hunting.
I think I heard about that one.
You can learn to draw in 30 minutes.
You can draw a line, yeah. That.
Is hard science fiction dead? There's a panel that looks really interesting. They also short films. They also had LAN party gaming.
Mm-hmm.
They had free games downstairs to play.
I think I was a little disappointed we didn't get to any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that. I stood there and looked at that one game that looked kind of interesting, and I was thinking, boy, is this going to be a future Steam game? Because
independent games will be.
I was really eyeballing some of those games, and they looked really sharp. And of course, off in the distance, I could hear somebody playing Donkey Kong, and I was like getting the shakes. You know what, Surlana?
What?
I have a gift for you.
What?
Caller, who is this?
Yay!
This is Patrick Sporer.
Hello, Patrick. How are you?
You know exactly when we need filler.
Hey, I tell you what, listening to you guys, you know that I promoted these events, and I can't believe you're going back tomorrow.
Yes.
I mean, you better get a good night's rest, man, because your legs are going to be...
Well, we want to get some interviews. We really want more interviews.
We want more interviews, yeah. So that's what we're
Yeah,
saying.
well, you need to take a Benadryl before you go to bed because it'll help you recuperate. But and help you sleep. Because after I promoted these type of events, I was so wired after they were over. And I mean, guys, I was like you. I would be up early in the morning, walking, having to answer questions. Of course, when you're promoting it, it's as insane as what you guys are doing trying to film. And it's overwhelming because there's so many things and activities going on. Mm-hmm. Maybe tomorrow on Sunday it'll be, maybe the crowds will be down or something and you can accomplish some more of your goals there. But you had some big name guests. You had Norman Reedus, you had Charlie Hunnam from, the Sons of Anarchy and the Pacific Rim movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I tell you, I don't envy you. You definitely need some help when you go to do these again because it's too hard, just two people, and the heat just compounds the situation, even when you're indoor a place and all that. But I when I hear you, I was sitting back smiling because I go, I know exactly. Yeah, okay, and even I was in shape, and Surlana, trust me, you can't get in good enough shape to go to those things. It's a wearing, and you have to walk, and you just have to make sure you keep yourself hydrated. That's for sure in those environments.
We didn't do that. That was a big no-no, I suppose.
I guess it is a big difference between when we do the broadcast here at home to do in our home studio. Everything's set up. It's fairly easy. We're sitting down. It's relaxing. We got the air condition on. Normally, Surlana is like, oh, brr, it's cold in here. And
not that today.
But yeah, today when we were doing it, it's really.
I feel like I've been standing out in the sun, but I have not.
Well,
my face is hot.
I feel I feel the burn in my legs. And if I hadn't taken that BC earlier,
BC powder.
Yeah, BC powder.
Grandpa.
Product placement.
Grandpa.
I think that helped me immensely.
Yeah. Anything you can do to help you relax will help your body recuperate before you have to do it again. But I mean, I literally was, the problem for me is after, I took care of everything and it was shut down for the evening, my legs would just cramp in the middle of sleeping. Just waking me up because of all the walking that I had to do, and I had to go up steps and down steps, and running up aisles. Cause like in a theater, you have the slanted aisles, so you have to run back and forth to the, they're calling you on a walkie-talkie. Hey, you got to come up here and check all this out. So, yeah, you guys are. As I was listening to you, I was smiling, thinking about this. I don't regret not doing promotions anymore. And I write down ideas on new promotions all the time, but then I start thinking about the wear and tear and everything that it puts on you. But you sound like you had fun.
Yeah, I'd say we did. I mean, once we got the spacesuit on and went through and hung out with, like-minded people, it's always fun when you're with like-minded people.
I think you should take the chimp mask with you and just, stand against the wall, put it on, and wait for people to come to you.
And then pass out from the heat.
No, just stand there. You don't have to move.
But, we had a good time.
Yeah. You brought up at the beginning of your show, you said something, Surlana, about one of the posts.
Yes, Meatloaf.
Oh yeah, Meatloaf. Yeah, these things scare me even. I mean, as long as I've been doing this, when I went back and when I saw what happened to him, I said, wait a minute, I made a post on that, and I went back and when I read about it, because I mentioned that the last time I had a post on him, he collapsed on stage, and that's exactly what happened again. And then the strange thing was that happened where some of your listeners are, right? Edmonton, Alberta?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
At the concert.
Yes, I know somebody that says they lived very close to where the concert was happening.
Oh. Yeah, it's just freaky. I haven't been sending out too many posts the last couple of days, and I figured you guys were too busy to read most of those anyway. But I'll get you caught up.
I like I said, I read them. I try to make some time to read them because I never know when you're going to call and say, "Did you see that?" And then if I say no, you're going to sound slightly disappointed in me as a human being.
And that's why when I was hosting Truth Funders earlier this week with Mark. And I brought up the fact that, I read his emails. You better read his emails because, if he's going to test you. And if you haven't read his emails,
he's going to, take away your...
Call you out in a way that's going to make you feel bad.
He's going to take away your allowance.
Well, the thing is, the reason... The difficulty is if you haven't read it, then I can't really follow up so well on it without having. I'm hoping that you read it so I don't have to go through a big explanation.
Right.
And
mostly
that way,
it's just out of fear.
Yeah, and then that way it gives it more authenticity, the fact that you received it and you read it before it occurred.
Right.
So that's the only reason I make a concerted effort. And trust me, it's not just you guys. I have people that are on my list that do the same way, and I'll give them these pop quizzes all the time, and they get caught off guard. It's hilarious, really.
And he called us out like, you just read the email subject title, didn't you? And I'm like, dang it.
Oh, yeah. I catch people doing that all the time, and I say, well, it's okay. I understand, because I get that, I put myself in the position of everyone else. I go, well, if I was receiving these, would I skim over them or would I actually read them? Now, me, because I'm interested in this type of subject, I would probably, it's just like when Spaceboy sends me something or you, I make sure I read it and I note it. Because, and my sister will do the same thing, but she's a bad one about reading the subject line, but she wants me to read her stuff. That's what's so funny about it.
We were so busy, I didn't take notice of numbers or anything significant happening, other than we kept having these dyslexic moments where we thought this number was this number. It's in this number room, and it's like, oh, we had them flipped around in our mind, and just.
Yeah. Well, look, I hope you guys have more fun tomorrow, as you did today, because I know that spacesuit has to be hot.
Well, it can be hot when you're out in the humid air. However, we found a couple of cool spots, and I'll have to email you one of the pictures that I took where we're in the media room and kind of just chilling. And it's kind of like a take on the most interesting man in the world. Stay hydrated, my friends.
Yeah, you look like you're holding. He looks like he's holding a small cognac or something, but it's just tea.
Yeah. Did you guys ever find a way to get hold of that guy that I told you about, the guy who had the incident at Fort Polk, the UFO abduction?
We've been so caught up in dealing with just this weekend.
This week has been...
After tomorrow, everything will free up for us.
Go back to normal. I mean, between me doing co-hosting with Mark...
Start researching.
And then Comicpalooza, we're back to normal. So we'll start getting back into the groove of things, and yeah, that's definitely on something on our list that we want to follow up on.
Well, he was supposed to be on a show. The only reason I'm saying is that the sooner you can get him, the better, because the show he was supposed to be on the other night, he canceled for some reason.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah. So I think he's going to get a lot of activity because that book is relatively new. And if he's on your show, I'm calling in because I want to quiz him. I was there. I was on the base when that happened, and when he says it happened, but yet, I was connected to some top brass. Surely, you guys know, the military's close knit. I would have heard something. I would have seeked this guy out to talk to him about it. So, and this happened about a year after the Travis Walton incident. The fire in the sky. So anyway, it was good talking with you guys. I hope you have some more fun tomorrow, and we'll catch up with you later.
Patrick, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, either live or via your emails. And I could pretty much speak on behalf of Surlana. We love having you a part of our lives, and so
in the universe,
in the universe too.
Well, thank you so much, and I'll come up with some more ideas and throw them your way. You never know which one's going to stick out or work or stand out.
The more you can throw, the better. We'll find out what sticks.
All right.
Have a good evening, Patrick.
Stay hydrated, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah,
man, that was like a little gift.
Yes. He has been a bright spot as far as the show is concerned. A lot of behind the scenes is, Patrick has exchanged emails with us, and it's always great to talk to him off air and always to get his emails. And of course, go to the Dream Cognition Experiment.
That's his blog.
And, see what he's up to and see how, he'll say something on a particular time and watch it unfold before your eyes. And, I think I'm a believer now. And, Surlana and I, had those moments, freaky.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I'm glad he brought up that one guest that we should get on, because we should definitely follow up with him and get him on the air. Well, that leaves the door open for, I know somebody tried to call during Patrick. If you want to call the hotline, it's 713. Wow, I didn't even get to finish, and here it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There's the number. Let's see. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
Bev. How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Well, we're hanging in there.
I've been better.
Yeah.
I know that in about 15 minutes we're going to be in bed and relax.
On a heating pad.
And before you know it, lights will be out.
And you two will be dead to the world, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I as long as I can get to sleep before Surlana, I'm good, because she's giving me the eyeball. Just know that I have to get to sleep before she does, so otherwise I won't get to sleep.
You know what it's like putting up with these divas, Bev.
Yeah, right. You're the one. Surlana's probably the one that has to go sleep first, right?
No.
No, I don't really pay attention to what goes on around me. But, if I'm awake and he's asleep, he's doing things. He's thrashing around, he's moaning, he's groaning, he's talking, he's laughing. He's saying human, just all kind of crazy things.
But on the flip side, Surlana is like, Paul Bunyan, right? You know who he was?
Who?
Paul Bunyan?
Paul Bunyan?
Yeah.
Don't pursue this line of question.
As I say, cutting the forest down.
Yeah. You're terrible.
Yeah, why do we put up with him? I don't know.
Hey, I don't, situation. But after almost 30 years, you kind of get used to it.
It's a long road to 30 years for us still.
How long you guys been married?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, see, let's see if Surlana knows.
I don't know. It feels like 800 years.
8 or 9?
100 years, yeah.
We've been married about 9, but we've been together for about 12.
Yeah.
So,
I see.
we're still, a third of your track record.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'll tell you. You have to joke and tease each other to make it fun.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you'll be doing a lot of teasing with Bob come this week, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So what's the big plans? Are y'all going to do a repeat of your birthday, or are you going to take him to Chuck E. Cheese and let Chuck E. Cheese dance? Well,
Actually, we didn't do anything on my birthday.
What?
Well, we went over to his brother's house.
Yeah, that's what I thought you did. Yeah.
Yeah. We had dinner over there, but we'll probably just home, and I might cook him dinner. I don't know.
Don't cook him any cookies, though.
Hold on. I want to know, what is Bob like for dinner? What is if you're going to cook a birthday dinner for him? What would you cook for him?
Well, the only thing I can really cook good is chicken.
I want some.
So is this baked chicken or fried chicken?
Oh,
See,
maybe baked.
See, this is going back to my Anthony Bourdain conversation earlier in the broadcast, where I'm just addicted to watching food on TV.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, that's great. I mean, as far as
Bob says tacos.
Tacos. Oh, well, there you go. Well, it is Tuesday. We have a thing around here. It's Taco Tuesday, so we celebrate the taco in our life by having tacos on Tuesday. And it's not really tacos. It's a kind of a taco meat seasoning thing, and we get chips and kind of like dip into the meat extravaganza that Surlana puts together.
Yeah, it's the last few times I made it, it's been really good. I will almost come to blows with him for
I think it's the sauce verde with the garlic seasoning in it that you got.
It's the green enchilada sauce with the garlic seasoning already in it, and mixed with just the basic tomato sauce. And the
that sounds good.
And the cumin and the chili powder.
Ooh.
It's very good.
That sounds good.
It is. It's very delicious.
We should have a recipes night.
Sounds like good victuals to me. Excuse me. Oh, my allergies have been going nuts.
Oh, no. Well, how's the weather up there in Ohio?
Hot and muggy.
Yeah, it's the time of the season.
Oh, I know. Bob planted me some flowers out front in our flower boxes.
Well, how sweet.
Yeah.
He does have his tender moments.
He what?
He has his tender moments, huh?
Yes, he does.
Spaceboy does that for me too by killing wasps. That's how I know he loves me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he has to. If he sees bees in the house, he has to kill them because I'm allergic to bees. And he's allergic to wasps, but I ain't gonna kill the wasps. Oh God. Oh Lord.
Well, Bev, we appreciate you calling.
Well, we appreciate you guys. You know that.
Oh, we do. As more than you can imagine, my love.
Oh, well, and you guys have fun tomorrow.
Okay. Well, at some point it will be a follow-up, and we'll talk a bit at the beginning of our next program, and just tune in for next Saturday for the end cap of this presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So we're always usually there.
Yeah, we see you. You are a true space cadet, along with Bob.
Yes.
Oh, well, we love you guys.
Oh, we love you too, Bev. So we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that's Bev. our our constant caller that we love so much.
Our expert cadet.
Yeah, our expert cadet. And so we're getting close to the end here, Surlana.
Wow, I can't believe we managed to talk about our experiences for this long.
Yeah, well, there was that whole segment of talking about the camera. And
well, they kind of get an idea of the setup and what to expect when the videos start rolling out.
And then, of course, there was the snafu with Spreaker here.
Yeah.
I don't know what was up with that, but let's see here. I guess to let our audience know, next week's guest will be the Reverend John Polk. He's got a book out, and he'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a learning experience because he's got some things that I've never really delved into, and we'll pick his brain and everything, and we've been trying to get him on the show for some time, but it finally...
We've had a packed schedule.
Schedule. So, we're looking forward to that. And, of course, another show that I'm looking forward to coming up is we're going to be doing a show on frequencies.
All about frequencies.
We've been wanting to do a show on that for a long time. It goes to our normal format where it's not a guest, where we just basically cover the information, present it to you, you make a call whether you believe or not or whatever, and then you could call in and give your peace of mind in the second hour of the show. And there are much more shows to come, and we're just kind of trucking along here, surprisingly, and life is good in the neighborhood. Any thoughts?
And yes, everybody in chat, do what Dennis says.
What is Dennis? The Twitter.
It has to do with why we would like people to like, fave, retweet, hashtag. We're on Twitter and Facebook. I think most of our audience knows that. But we're also on Instagram.
Yes.
So if you can find us over there too, and do the same thing. I think it's at Houston Comicpalooza over there on Instagram.
Yes. Yeah, if you get a chance.
And everything you find on Twitter, I've put over in Instagram pretty much.
And usually when I do Periscope, it automatically uploads to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been doing separate videos.
We're also on Tumblr, but I'm not going to make anybody. I'm not going to force anybody to go to Tumblr.
So let's recap here, social media wise, what we're trying to do here, Surlana.
Yeah.
Recap it.
It is we want as many eyes and retweets and likes and faves and engage. Maybe just drop something and say, hey, that's cool, because Comicpalooza will be watching our feeds to see if we're viable as a media coverage to get word out about a positive message about the con and the whole experience. So, and if it does work out, maybe if we apply again next year, they'll let us come back.
So it's very important. It just comes back to the basic need that in order for us to build the show, we need your support. And this is another way that you can support the universe by getting involved with our social media and liking and retweeting and hashtagging
and faving
and all that good stuff.
And lions and tigers and bears.
And what it costs you is just a little bit of your time, but to support a show that you enjoy listening to.
It's starting to sound like an NPR drive.
And so,
no, that's got to be the least sexy, most boring thing I've ever heard. NPR and chill.
We cannot do it without your support.
That's going to be the most boring thing I've ever heard of, unless zombies were involved.
So, but yeah, seriously, help support the universe. You can do it monetarily by going to spaceboyuniverse.com or spaceboymusic.com and clicking the banner at the top, donate now. That always helps. Of course, what we really want to also get across is the bit that like, subscribe, hashtag it, be a part of it, and all that good stuff. And if you need links, there's links on Spaceboy Universe that will get you to a lot of these sites. And, of course, remember, hashtag, like, retweet, and all that good stuff.
Comment.
Subscribe. And, subscribe. Yes, with the YouTube thing we're trying to build now, it's just the hodgepodge of everything.
That's where the videos will be.
Yes.
Eventually.
So, let's see here. Well, I don't know about you, Surlana. I know it's a couple minutes early, but I would like to go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah, if y'all don't mind, we'd like to take the extra 5 minutes to get to bed that much faster.
Not that we don't love y'all anymore,
yeah,
but
well.
It has been a challenging day, and we are going to be nuts and go visit tomorrow and see how things go, and hopefully get some more interviews, and just do our due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to make Dennis proud of us,
Yeah, I'm worried sick that we got to get a pop quiz from Patrick, and then Dennis is be like, well, you should have tried harder.
All righty. Well, on that note, there's the Space Boy outro music. This is Space Boy and Surlana. Say goodnight, Surlana.
Oh, yeah. Good night.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Producer credit goes out to Dennis Koch. Find Spaceboy at spaceboymusic.com and spaceboyuniverse.com. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. You have reached your final destination. Good night, Space Cadets.